Hey, this is Samaniego with Tax Debt Consultants. Today, I want to talk about unfiled tax returns. There's many people out there today that have multiple years of unfiled tax returns. And a lot of those people, they go years with unfiled tax returns. And the primary reason is that they're just afraid of what to do. They've gone years not doing it. How would I know? I've done it personally. I went 8 years not filing my tax returns. So our goal is when somebody has unfiled tax returns, there's two rules that I basically follow. One, if it's 6 years or less of unfiled tax returns, here's what you got to do. To get fully compliant with the IRS, you need to file the 6 years of tax returns. A lot of people sometimes will call us, or you will call me, and when you say, I got a past due notice for 2022 for $18,000, and then in our conversation, I find out you have years of unfiled tax returns. We can't deal with that past due balance for that specific year because you're not compliant. So we need to get you compliant, and that's basically filing the last 6 years of tax returns. You only need to file 2 years. Maybe it's 3 years. Maybe it's 6 years that has to be filed. We got to get you compliant before we can deal with the IRS. The next thing, maybe you're someone like myself that has gone more than 6 years of unfiled tax returns. It might be 7 years, 8 years. I've actually had a person come to me with 19 years of unfiled tax returns. Here's the deal. When that scenario, you really want to make sure you get a full investigation of your IRS tax history before you do anything. The reasoning is that the IRS, typically, they actually only need 6 years of tax returns to be considered fully compliant. But a nice little rule that the IRS does have that if you need to file older tax returns, you definitely can do that, especially if it benefits you. So let's just say 10 years ago, the IRS did what's called a substitute for return. They created their own liability because you didn't file the tax return. Here's the good news. You can actually file an actual tax return to replace that liability. Maybe you'll reduce the liability. Maybe you'll wipe out the liability. So you really got to be careful when you've got more than 6 years of tax returns that we're filing the correct amount of tax returns and taking advantage of anything that's actually going to benefit you by filing those older returns. Now, as I say this about the IRS, the key thing to remember, state law is dramatically different, especially here in California. Most of the time, the state of California will want all missing tax returns. So what I typically do, I will actually have once I file the power of attorney, we have a conversation with the state to discuss your situation specifically, what's missing and what they're requiring. And the IRS, the state really does do a lot of these substitute for returns. And I've had multiple cases, possibly hundreds of cases where people were able to file the returns to get rid of old liabilities that the state just made up. So I hope that really helps you understanding unfiled tax returns. Till next time, Carlos Samaniego, Tax Debt Consultants. If you need help with your situation, you can always visit us at taxdebtconsultant.com or just give us a call at 909-570-1103.